Welcome back to Loud Mouse Podcast. I'm your host, Wild Spartans, aka Brennan. I'm here with the Quite
Hi.
and FPS Diesel.
I don't say advertiser-friendly things, so I'm gonna shut up now.
Nice.
Okay, you could just like not say the bad words. But okay.
Don't tempt him. Don't tempt him. It's making it harder.
He's gonna wait till the 2-minute mark to say literally anything. He's just sitting there, just see a cookie monster. I almost said the bad word. Anyways, so we got a lot of gaming stuff today, and E3 is the first one, and E3 is now for celebrities and YouTubers and stuff like that because they want to draw more attention to the event, even though E3 was originally created for the press to see new games and other companies and all that jazz. So Walmart would buy stuff from these companies, but they don't do that anymore.
They're trying to make it a public event again.
Yeah, so basically, E3 was like, hey, that Keanu Reeves guy, he did a really good job. And now they're going to try to do the same thing every year. And one of the examples was, why don't we get basketball stars to play basketball game? That was one of the examples that they're going to do. So expect LeBron James to come up on stage and play some 2K. So yeah, that sounds really fun.
I can't wait 2 minutes. I'm too impatient.
Yeah, you didn't have to. I was waiting for you to talk.
Like, you're allowed to talk, just like don't say
any bad words until we've passed the threshold of 2 minutes, which is approaching fast.
roughly
anyway,
20 seconds because we have to account for the time we took to clap sync.
So part of the weird thing about this E3 stuff, you know what happened recently with E3, right?
Not aside from this, no.
Their turn up was shit.
Okay, well, like, they just have journalists show up most of the time and, like, media personalities that go and report on it. But everybody who's a media personality who filled out the application and did all the business to, like, get their press pass and show up at E3, they had a data breach. So E3 released everybody's information.
Oh,
everybody's.
Yeah, I was watching a video about it, and like the guy was talking. It's just like, that data breach included a lot of our information, and someone on our staff who happens to be female. So.
Yeah, it was like it was pretty bad, and I think there's actually a class action lawsuit going through right now.
I don't blame him, dude. Like, okay, let's be real here. Game journalists.
Nobody likes them.
They have some of the shittiest goddamn takes on games because they suck. They're too old. They're like all like pushing their 40s, and they're like, how do I play Mario? I forgot. My brain's going senile. So these old people.
I know Joe
No one
Biden was a
likes
games
them.
journalist.
No one likes these people because their opinions are shit. Everyone kind of knows that, like, the articles they write are garbage for the most part. Like, not all of them are shit, don't get me wrong. It's just that the general consensus is their shit. So they're, and there's like a few that are just like, I really don't like you. So these people got their info leaked, and you can imagine why that's really bad. So
I think the leak also includes the Cuphead guy. You know, the guy who couldn't play Cuphead.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. People who suck at games and try to review them. You can't review a game if you don't understand the basic mechanics of the game. Like,
Or if you can barely hold the controller, like the very fundamentals that most gamer boys and gamer girls are gonna have. You gotta have those to be a gaming journalist, I think.
Yeah, that's just
Like
makes sense.
hand-eye
It's like-
coordination and a knowledge of how to use either a keyboard and mouse or the controller. You know how it be? You know how it be.
I don't even know how you cannot use one or the other. I mean, like, I kind of suck with controllers if I'm not given time to warm up. But generally speaking, like, I can get the hang of a controller after, 10, 15 minutes.
I only ever play PC nowadays, and the only game I really play it on with a controller is stuff like Monster Hunter. So, but whenever I try to play shooters with a controller, I'm just fucking piss poor. I'm no good.
I remember I bought Halo for the 360 because I really wanted to play Halo again, and I've been using a PC for everything up until this point. This is like a while ago, and I got this 360, and I started playing Halo. I forgot which one it was. I think it was 4. And I felt like a old person trying to just do things.
I
felt like I was 100 years old and pushing death.
I know, it's I had a friend over who I used to play split screen zombies with all the time, when we were in middle school or whatever, right? And we going back to a controller for both of us was opening a can of like 2000, like it was like opening a 2,000-year-old cursed tomb. Like I felt my insides pouring out. It was really bad.
Yeah, if you ever play on PC like as your main thing, and then try to switch to controllers for things that aren't racing, or like Monster Hunter, where it's like you don't generally need to be super precise, it is painful. Like in any shooter, you will feel clunky. I am like so impressed that these like esports players can switch between PC and controllers so flawlessly, and these people who like get their aim so perfect on a controller is kind of crazy. Because like I always feel like my aim's off. Like
Yeah.
it never feels good.
I like a lot of that does like aim assist is like a thing in a lot of controller games, like Call of Duty has it, but like bully me for this, but like people who like quickscope or whatever, COD's been implementing a lot of like features where like they just don't have aim assist when you zoom in with a sniper rifle. Like so if you are good at that kind of like if you're good at sniping in that game, it's because you're just genuinely good with a controller. I don't know how you can aim, period. My aim on PC sucks.
I can't wait to play crossplay in the new COD and just get into like console lobbies.
There's crossplay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Huh.
there is.
Yeah, there is crossplay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure how it works is people on console can turn it off and like vice versa. But like for the people who don't have it off, I can't wait to find you in that game.
That's extremely busted. I like even what is it? Crossplay in Fortnite is just completely one-sided. Like
Yeah,
if you're a
because
mobile player, you might as well kiss your ass goodbye. Like
I mean, you can turn off crossplay on these games. So like if you're playing on mobile and like
yeah,
you
but
don't wanna
10-year-old
play-
little bumblefuck McGee doesn't know. You
To be
know?
fair, if you're
10-year-old
playing
bumblefuck
Fortnite
McGee
on
should be
mobile,
good
you're
at
probably
the
not
game.
playing it to win at that exact moment.
I don't know
Yeah,
why you
bum-
would play it on mobile. Period. End of conversation.
Maybe you're just out or
Bumblefuck
whatever.
McGee- Let me tell you, Diesel. 11-year-old Bumblefuck McGee is gonna really enjoy getting his ass kicked in Fortnite because he's a fucking child. Like, he's just gonna be like, "Oh, I'm playing this
Not-
game." Like, he doesn't care.
Not to completely double back to E3, but I was curious what they're exactly doing with the new rebranding, and I'm using air quotes even though nobody can see me do that right now. But first of all, I should clarify that for 2019, the Gamer Pass, which is what a normal person's ticket is called, yes, I'm serious, is $100 at launch, right? That's for the first 1,000 tickets. Then it goes up to $150. And then after that is 2,000, not 2,000, Jesus.
I was about to say that's a really big price.
That's a bit of a
It's-
jump. I wasn't
it's-
expecting that.
It's $250 for a 3-day pass to fucking E3. To stand in lines all day.
So, okay, this is like the same thing with Cold Stone. Just call
What?
your listen. Just call your pass something fucking normal. Don't call it the Gamer Pass. You know, Cold Stone has like the like it, love it, gotta have it shit. Just call it small, medium, and
Well,
large.
nobody goes up to the person at Cold Stone and is like, "Oh, can I have a like it, please?"
Nah, they make you say that. They make you say like it, love it, or gotta have it. That's what they
never
do.
made me say that at Cold Stone.
They made me say it when I was a kid. So like there was a Cold Stone like close to where I lived, and we'd go, and I would like say like, "Can I get a medium?" And they'd be like, "I'm sorry, what?" And I'd say a medium, and then they're just like, I don't know the size," and then I'm just like it. They're like, "Okay,"
The
or,
one
like,
place
"Love it."
that bothers me is fucking Starbucks, where they're like a grande is a
Grande,
Grande Fuente Frappuccino
Frappuccino.
Genocide app. Something like that.
Grande Yo Mama.
Grande, Dull and Dark. I
What
don't have
are
anything else to
Starbucks
fill out this
sizes?
chick.
I literally-
It's like
I've never gotten a drink at Starbucks except for a water.
I know a vente is a large because
Can
I
I get
only
a
get
venti
large
water?
coffees.
I just ask for I just get like one of the water bottles or some shit. I only ever get food there if I go there at all.
I literally never. I don't drink coffee. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I drink
we-
G Fuel like a real gamer.
Oh my god, coffee is so great.
I'm drinking
It's
G
bitter.
Fuel right now.
I just don't like coffee. I'm willing to try it again when I get older, but like I tried it like a year and a half ago. I just hated it.
I just don't like the taste. It's not for me.
I'm sure at some point I'll probably like it because I hear it's like an acquired taste. Like it takes a while for your
You
body
grow
to,
into
like,
it as you
you
become more of a
accept
boomer.
coffee.
Stockholm syndrome, you know how it is.
What does
Wait,
this even mean by influencer
Trenta.
festival? What the fuck?
Trenta is a option. I think.
Oh, that's like the
Is it?
extra large at Starbucks, right?
I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so they have the tall venti, and then grande.
I don't know what any of those mean anymore. I'll be real with you.
The tall is a small one, so that's a scam. Just call it fucking small, medium, and large, you goddamn hipsters.
I see.
Goddamn. The kids are calling coffee venti now. Alright, wait. We're gonna wait. What the hell is that?
Here's the layouts for E3. They're trying to turn standing in a line into entertainment.
Oh yeah, because they wanted to market to them like while they were in line and shit.
You're already surrounded by marketing. I don't.
Wait, so Cyberpunk?
What do
Everything
you
is
mean
cyberpunk with you. I swear to God.
Well, okay, like think about it, right? The whole like one of the things about
We do
Cyberpunk
this every time. You say something cyberpunk, and you're like,
surrounded by
think
ads.
about it in that exact way. It's like I'm going
getting
through.
closer to fucking Cyberpunk.
I swear to God, I'm in a time
I mean,
loop.
well, depending on where you go, we're like already there.
Yeah, no,
Cars are
for
starting to
real.
drive themselves, guys. All right, we're there.
I'm not even like the ridiculous advertising. Like for example, this past weekend I went with my girlfriend to the World Trade Center, right? And it's all new, you know, because they fell down. They didn't fall down.
We all know, Diesel. You
We all
don't
know
need
what
to
happened
tell
at
us.
9/11. All right, I'm glad.
Fell down.
Do you think someone's just like, I wonder what happened to those World
No,
Trade
the thi-
Centers? I don't think
What
so.
does he mean
I
fell
find it
down?
so
How did
weird.
they fall?
I find it so weird that there are people alive now who did not experience that. I just find it
I didn't
very strange.
experience it either.
Wait, were you not alive for
I
it?
was one when it happened.
I mean, yeah, but like you were alive for it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
but do
wasn't
I remember that
conscious.
shit?
He wasn't
No.
conscious of the event. And also, it's a lot different being someone from the East Coast remembering it as
Yeah.
being someone on the
I mean,
opposite
it's
end
like-
of the world.
Even still, like he probably could have had like his parents told them about like what they were doing or like how he was involved at the time. Like kids who were born after that don't even get like a way to
I
relate
literally
how
didn't
where they
even
were at
ask
the time.
my fucking parents about it. I was just like, it happened.
I remember I was like, okay, so I found out about Osama bin Laden being shot while I was playing a mobile MMO on my phone. And someone was standing in like a town square being like, we got him, we got Osama bin Laden. And they were dressed up in Osama bin Laden skin.
Oh my God!
See, those were
Oh
like,
my God!
those were like, honestly, like, I hate to sound like a boomer, but they were like simpler days. Like, I kind of wish that I could like experience my life as the current age I am in other eras of time, because like it just sounds interesting. Because we're at a point now where everything's so like tech is just so advanced, and it's like we just
Yeah.
keep going and going and going. Like we have the Neuralink stuff now, and that like they're gonna start doing human testing supposedly next year, and it's crazy. Like they have these super micro wires that go into your head. It's inserted by a robot for complete precision. It's 10 times thinner than your hair. Like it's crazy. And like this stuff is meant to be able to control your phone and things like that. And then as they do more tests and read more brainwaves, they'll be able to like make it do pretty much anything at that point.
Yeah,
Like
the-
that you control with your head. It's
I
fucking crazy.
I feel like part of what makes them simpler times, though, is the fact that we had simpler brains. Like, we were younger, so everything made more sense because we didn't have to think critically
Everything
about
was,
it.
yeah, it was a lot, it felt more simple because we weren't.
We experienced it
As
through
old.
a simpler lens.
Well, I feel like if okay, imagine a world where social media doesn't exist. You can't even fucking imagine that. Like it's really difficult. 'Cause,
Oh, yeah,
like,
for real.
Did any of us live in an era without social media? I
I
grew up
did.
on that shit.
But it's like new
so-
innovations are happening all the time. It's just like in the way it affects your life is gonna be
I
all
want to
ever
go back
changing.
to the 80s.
You
All
weren't
right.
alive then.
I know.
I miss the '80s. They were so much
Brandon,
better.
you're talking about going back to the 80s. Meanwhile, we were like super racist, didn't like gay people, and had to hide under our desk in case the Russians blew us up.
I didn't
Like-
like any of those parts. Jesus.
I only want the parts that I fantasize about in my head.
I only
I
want
don't
the
even
parts from
fantasize with the
Stranger
80s.
Things.
I just want. I didn't even watch Stranger Things. I just want to go back to the 80s for a fucking day and see what it was like. That's it. All right.
Fair.
I mean, I'm just
Honestly,
saying.
if the opportunity was on the table, I'd do it too. Like, just for a day.
I'd also go back to the 1600s and be like, hey, what up? I'll just fucking.
I got a
like,
Glock, baby. Bah, 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 bah. I'm the president now.
What if you just like? What if you went back in time to the current spot you're at, and like you went back to time when America didn't exist? Would you just be like in a fucking forest?
We
You would be in
very
a
well might be in
forest.
the water.
I mean, if you go far
Well,
enough
if you went
back, it'll just be
far
completely
enough, yeah,
different.
we'd be in the water. You have to
Would
go
we
back
be,
pretty far
if we
for
were
that.
in the exact spot? Would we be like instantly impaled?
Well,
That's like
how,
the first
how
thing I think.
far
of.
back are you going? Like
Like a
Ice
couple
Age?
hundred
Go
years,
Back to
couple thousand.
Pangea?
I mean,
Second.
if you go back a couple hundred years, it'll just probably be a forest.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, though, if you're
Oh,
talking
kill
like
a
the exact
dinosaur?
spot you're sitting, like in the air and everything, would you be like impaled by a tree if you just instantly materialized, or
Let's just assume you won't be impaled or die.
like you'll be able to stand and be fine whenever you end up there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question. Could
What's
a
up?
gun kill a dinosaur?
If applied
And
correctly,
if
maybe.
so, how big of a gun would you need?
I mean, what like so back in the day, like I'm saying,
Back
as
in
if
the
like
day
my
when we
heyday.
killed dinosaurs.
Back in the day when I had a pet dinosaur named Squiggly, he was really nice and his tusks were nice and firm. But like back in like fucking BCE, whatever, like before BCE, what the fuck am I saying? The Jurassic era, like wasn't the atmosphere so much different? Like it was a lot heavier.
Yes,
There
the
was
atmosphere
significantly
was
more
heavier.
oxygen.
So would that change how like bullets like function or whatever?
maybe
Or
maybe they'd fire faster.
would they fire faster or would they be less effective?
No, because there was more oxygen in the air, so more room for combustion.
It would also
fire
be
faster.
wouldn't it be denser though?
Cars would be more efficient.
Wouldn't it be denser though, like in thus making it have to like work more to get through things? Or I don't know.
I don't think
I haven't
was the
studied enough
atmosphere
about the
denser?
environment and atmosphere of fucking Jurassic period.
I just know that there was like 10 to 12% more oxygen in the air back then, and that's why spiders were ginormous.
I don't know if we would be able to
Yes.
breathe back then because the air composition would be so
No,
different.
I don't think you
get
would be
oxygen
able to
poisoning.
breathe, but that's just like a guess into the wind there.
Assuming that guns functioned in a similar way they do now, I have a feeling that they probably could, like, because like with enough bullets, they'll penetrate the hide.
Yeah, but how many bullets are you gonna need? Because even like a pistol can't
Okay,
kill
so
a
you
bear.
got you guys know that dinosaurs weren't like fucking scaly, right?
Yeah, they're like feathery or
They
some
had
shit.
feathers.
Yeah, they had feathers. Okay. They're
Yeah.
basically big like chickens.
Yeah, that's why we have chickens now, and they're fucking pathetic.
Look,
I eat
what
them.
became of you? You used to be big and tall and so
Think
much better
about
than
it,
this.
though. We have like these stupid fucking birds that
Okay,
most likely
but,
came
like-
from dinosaurs, and those fuckers just rule the earth.
You gotta
Imagine if,
realize
like-
how much time passed in between the modern chicken and the dinosaur. Like,
Yeah,
So
but
much.
like think about how much they fell off.
At least a couple days. Like that's a long time. At least.
like it was a massive extinction event that killed the dinosaurs. You
Well,
know,
maybe they should have just bounced the meteor back.
yeah,
Maybe
okay.
they should've played
They would have
tennis with
phoned up
it.
Elon Musk and he would have blown it away.
Maybe they should have been playing pong with it. I don't know. That's all I'm saying.
We don't even have countermeasures to a like. Well, we probably do, but we don't
We-
really.
We do. There's no way we don't.
We,
Like,
yeah, the government's just like, yeah, we'll just shoot a nuke at it.
Don't we have those big sky pylons? What were they called? Like the fucking Odin or Thor project? The shit that Call of Duty Ghost was based off of. Do we not actually
those
have
are
those? I
not
forget
real. That does not exist.
It doesn't exist, but I
It's
know they were like
conceptual.
actually working on something like
Like
that.
you can make that. Like that is something you can make now, but there's not one that exists in
But
space.
how
Oh.
fucked would we be if a meteor the size of the one that caused the dinosaurs to all die just came into Earth's orbit again? Or like,
Super
We'd all
fucked.
die.
Super fucked. Like we'd be
we would
dead.
all
Like
die.
instantly. We'd be super fucked.
I mean, because we saw like there was a meteor that flew by Earth, and we didn't even pick it up
Meteors fly
until it
by
flew
Earth
by
all
Earth.
the time.
Yeah, but it was like dangerously close.
And news articles always say they're dangerously close.
No, this one was like
Dangerously-
close to getting in orbit.
Can
didn't
you
pick
find
it
the
up
article?
until it
Because I'm
passed.
interested.
That's a lot of effort.
You could
okay.
find literally like you get articles like that every couple of months where like a meteor passes by Earth. You know, it happens a lot.
This just makes me think of the one episode of Family Guy where like they started off the episode by saying they observed a black hole at the edge near Pluto or whatever, and then fucking like they were like convincing the entire town of Quahog that the black hole was going to kill them because it was ever expanding. And then the whole joke was, April Fools, we made you think you were all gonna die. And like the entire of the Griffin family went into a family crisis, and like they all just started going for each other's throats, and they had emotional character development because they all thought they were gonna die, and then they didn't die.
Man,
That's what this makes me think
That's
of.
crazy. Fucking
Do
Family
you
Guy's an
think-
anime.
Do you think there'd be an option in the future to launch yourself into a black hole?
I mean, you got to be able to get to the black hole first, but I'm sure that
Like-
some fucking venture capitalist is going to think of
Just
it.
launch you from a
let's say-
cannon into a black
Let's
hole.
say I'm like 96 and I'm like, I kind of just want to see what
you,
happens.
you want like the suicide booths from Futurama, where you go in.
But
for
it's
the
not like
25
assured
cents.
suicide.
No,
it's
I
like,
don't
what if
want
I
a
become
suicide
Jesus by
booth.
going through this black hole? What if I
You
become
go
70
into a
years
black
younger?
hole,
Black
you
hole
die.
to see
You
what
don't
it's
live,
like.
you die.
Yeah.
It's a
But I'll be fucking 96. I don't got much
Yeah,
time
but
left anyways.
like if you had picked a more excruciating way to die, you would just be like asking for yourself to die, like by ripping off every piece of your like.
I mean,
But, like,
a black
every
hole,
single
a black,
fiber
a
of your
death,
being.
Death by black hole would be pretty much instant, though, wouldn't it?
No, but okay, time slows down when you get.
Oh,
closer
right,
to the
space,
inside of the
I
black
forgot.
hole. It would be excruciating.
Well,
You would
I wanna
die
see
from
what
how
But
much
it would
pain.
end
You would
with you
pass
being
out.
atomized, wouldn't it? Like, it'd end with you
know?
being atomized.
You'd be ripped apart atom by atom, and your density would be added to the infinite density of the black hole.
So I'll make it bigger. So
You
I'll contribute
you wouldn't
to
make
something
it
with my
bigger.
death.
It's infinitely dense. There's nothing denser than a black hole.
But doesn't it like stretch time and shit?
Except for Brandon's skull.
Like, are you
How
telling
come-
me that,
that
would
was
be
a
a fun
good-
way to go out?
Guys, that was a really good burn. Come on, guys.
I don't give a shit. You tell me that. Are you
So
telling me
good.
that wouldn't be a good
So
way
good.
to go out?
No, it would be a horrifying
Like,
it would be
Bro,
horrible.
how many people die by black hole?
Okay, yeah, but you're
I mean, like,
you're
what if-
insinuating
what
this
if-
is a future where you can just do that willy nilly.
what if the
happen.
what if the black hole like is a portal? Like, do you think it goes to the other side of space or some shit? Like, what's the difference between a black hole and a wormhole? I always
That's
get
what I'm
confused.
saying. I want to find out.
But what's the difference between a wormhole and a black hole? I always get confused.
Wormholes are less killy.
Helpful.
I have no idea actually.
Wormhole.
I mean, they sound the same. They both.
Okay, so here's what
Okay,
happens
it's
when you fall
speculative.
towards the event horizon of a black hole.
See, this is all
Right.
theory though. We don't know if it's actually happening.
No, are we talking about the black hole still?
How many? Yeah. How many people got chucked in a black hole to tell a story,
No-
Diesel?
Nobody.
No one.
Okay, yeah, but we have the fucking.
No one's
science
been
to know-
chucked out of black
Oh
hole,
my
Brandon.
god, you fucking people! We have the science. We have the technology to know what happens when you do.
gravity, we'd be flying.
You know?
That never happened.
Okay, so
Isaac Newton's a punk ass bitch.
as you accelerate towards the event horizon, we're just gonna use like okay, Brandon sees you stretch and contort as if he were viewing you through a giant magnifying glass. What's more, the closer you get to the horizon, the more you appear to move in slow motion. You can't shout out to Brandon. There is no air in space. But you might try flashing Brandon in Morse code, right, with your iPhone, because you have an iPhone in space. Right?
work.
So basically what's going to end up happening is that the light waves are going to stretch around and become lower and redder in frequency. Right? So basically it'll just space it out. Right? It'll be harder for the light to escape. Then what's going to happen is you're going to see Brandon freeze. Right? It's like the entire universe is on pause. You're going to remain stuck there, motionless, and you're going to start to stretch across the event horizon.
How long does it take me for me to die?
You're going to start feeling growing heat, right? From the outside, it looks like you were slowly evaporated, obliterated, stretching into space.
Okay, how long would it take me to die?
Okay, well, if it looks like time has stopped, it's probably a long time. But you'd
Well,
probably
how
pass
long?
out from the extreme pain. How long? You want a specific number? I don't know. Fucking how much
Yeah,
pain
because I
can you
need that to
experience
make the
before you
decision.
pass out?
If it's gonna take me a couple months to die, I'll die in
Brandon,
a suicide
Brandon,
booth.
how
from
much
Futurama.
torture can you withstand before passing out? That's the question I'm asking here.
Well, if my body's getting ripped apart, I'll probably 10 seconds at max.
I mean, how long until your brain stops being able to function to process pain?
You,
Yeah, what if that just goes first?
you'd pass out from the excruciating pain, so you wouldn't notice any of the
Well,
pain
I
after
passed
that.
out before then because there's no oxygen in space.
Okay, we were assuming and you're in a fucking suit, you asshole. If you were to step into a black hole, your body would most closely resemble toothpaste being extruded out of a tube.
I'd be dead at that point.
It's just saying that it's a bad time. It's not a good time.
But like the moment I get stretched, I'll die. Like I'm not supposed to get stretched like that.
Nobody's supposed to get stretched like that.
I know. Okay, are you telling me it wouldn't be interesting to see what happens? Because it would be. You know it fucking would be.
Okay, so I looked up a wormhole, and so a wormhole is like it's not like it's like a point. It connects but two separate points in space. So it's supposed to like, you know, like the apparently the model that gets used is like, say you were to like you take a piece of paper and you fold it,
Yeah.
and how the two ends are now touching, kind of like that or some shit.
So wormholes are space highways?
So,
Essentially, yeah.
but
like-
wormholes are theoretical. We've never found
Yeah, they're
a wormhole.
theoretical. No one's ever made it in
Well,
humanity.
maybe the black hole's a wormhole.
See, I'm pretty sure the theories are different. Like what constitutes one happening is different from the other. I'm not a fucking astrophysicist, so I have no fucking clue what.
Dude, even at light speed, we won't go fast enough to get to a black
If you
hole.
go into a black hole,
But-
Brandon, you will experience light speed. You will reach the speed of
By
light.
the time I get to a black hole, I'll probably be dead.
The
and
thing-
also, by the time humans actually get
You-
close enough to a black hole, people have discovered light speed.
Brandon, you'll be
Done it.
moving so fast through the black hole that it'll look like time is moving slower around you.
But Brandon, the concept of a wormhole is kind of it's probably like, if it's real, if it's more than theoretical, it's probably what you would use to get to a black hole, because it allows you to have faster than light travel without ever actually going faster than light. Because if you like fold the two ends, like you have one entrance of a tunnel and the exit of a tunnel, you can go through that tunnel without ever having gone faster than light in that localized area. But like since you're connecting to 2 points using something that's outside of space-time itself, then you can go through it without ever traveling faster than light.
Okay, next question. How do I breach dimensional walls?
Same way, I believe.
Wait, really?
Interuniversal travel. A possible resolution of the paradoxes resulting from wormhole-enabled time travel rests on the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. In 1991, David Deutsch, I probably pronounced his name horribly.
Deuce.
Deutsch showed that the quantum theory is fully consistent in the sense that the so-called density matrix can be made free of discontinuities in space-time with closed time-like curves. However, later it was shown that such model of closed time-like curve can have I can't read this all. My brain's too small. The possibility of communication between parallel universes has been dubbed interuniversal travel. So, in extension of that, I guess.
So, Brandon, are you ready to jump in a black hole when you're 96?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, apparently you'd also see the entirety of the universe from its end to its beginning
Then yes.
at the same exact time.
Yes.
You'd see everything from the inside of a black hole.
I will know the secrets and die with them.
Yeah, that's the problem. You die with them.
See, you don't even know if you die with them.
The whole of
Like-
my being wants to see humanity become, like, I want to be alive to see humanity become, like, a proper spacefaring race.
Well, that's not gonna
Or
happen
species.
unless reincarnation exists, bud.
No, but I mean, like, I know, like, I won't be alive to see it, but, like, assuming that it happens in the future, like, I feel like that's just the coolest thing, like, actually going to other stars and shit. Like,
What
that's
if
fucking...
What
That's
if it
metal.
becomes tradition at like 2080 to upload our consciousness into a computer.
I feel like
And
we've
then,
gone
like,
over this idea. I'd be
2,000
kind
years
of
later-
interested.
2,000 years later, they start booting up machines and the robots, and they put the consciousness in. They're like, "This is the 2080 model," and it's it's like someone's conscious.
Bro, like,
And a
your
robot?
conscious could catch like a virus. Like, you wouldn't get sick, but you get, like, porn, like, ads showing up in your vision every now and then.
You upload your brain to a computer only to be revived in a fucking toaster robot. Like, that's pretty sad.
Bro, if that'd be
There's a
so
Black Mirror episode.
inhumane. Dude, okay, never mind. I don't want to. That sounds awful.
It's like how in that one Black Mirror episode, like, your personal assistant was a copy of your consciousness that didn't realize it was a copy, and it got tortured by having nothing to do for, like, what was an accelerated year, and then it became obedient because it just needed something to do because it was driven insane.
No, that sounds fucking horrendous.
Jeff
I can't-
Bezos buys everybody's
Like-
brains.
Imagine you're revived in a robot, and you are like, you're an AI, but it's your consciousness. And instead of developing AI from start to finish, they just use human consciousness and give it parameters to abide by.
Dude, like that's the thing though.
That
It's like
sounds
if you're
awful.
revived in a robot, is it still you? Is the question.
Well, if you get there and you can speak and think and you can see, as you did before you died, then yes.
But
But if
in-
it's a copy of you, then no.
But it's the funny meme where it's like if you have a ship and you replace all the parts until none of the original ship is left, is it still the same ship?
It depends. Does the ship have an AI?
You were terrible with metaphors. Nothing goes over your head.
Well, okay. It doesn't make as much sense because we're talking about a human consciousness. So if you were to replace, like, let's say you replace a car chassis and the engine was still the same, that'd be a better one. And I'd say that, like, it'd still run the same. So yes.
But it's like if you replace every part of the body, like if you replace the brain with a completely electronic one, is that still you? Is the question.
Well, you're asking like,
We don't-
is the mind just something that inhabits the body, or is it like
The mind.
deliberately intertwined?
I mean, if you think
and
about
not
it, you're just a
separated
sack
too?
of meat watching something through two camera lenses.
yeah,
sat-
basically.
Yeah, like your whole, like you're
theory.
not your body. Like I
I'm
think
drawing
it's,
a blank right now on which philosopher said that the two are interlinked, but fuck.
I mean, yeah,
why
they're
can't I
interlinked
remember?
because like there's
I
parts of your
literally
body
just had a
that
class
aren't
on
relying on the
this.
brain, like for instinct and muscle memory and shit.
I think it's a combo. I think if we're gonna roll with the consciousness thing, your brain's your consciousness, and then the body's a vessel, and they work together.
But I mean, like, if the thing holding the consciousness is completely different than what it was like before, like,
I mean,
if you upload
I
your
don't think my
consciousness-
brain is a
Well,
little
if-
pilot of a giant mecha. Like that's not what's happening.
Well, okay, if you pull an MP4 file from your computer to a flash drive and put it on a different computer, it's the same MP4 file.
it's
You
not.
just
It's a
move it.
copy of the first one.
No, you can drag it in.
Dude, it's a copy.
Diesel, I don't use copies when I'm moving files over. I move the originals.
So
Man,
you
you
delete
live on
the
the
original
edge,
and then you
Jesus.
replace it with an exact copy.
No, I just move it on the drive.
We make a copy of Brandon and shoot the original Brandon in the face.
While I
Excuse me, he'd be the exact
something's
same, but
wrong.
not me.
While I was gone, somebody came into my house, stole everything, and replaced it with an exact replica.
He behaves differently.
But like
Cleans his
that
room.
is how files work though. Like when you copy, like when you cut and paste something, you're not like really moving it. You're more deleting the old one and
What if
creating
you-
an exact
okay,
copy.
What if you drop it in a folder and it says "move here"?
It says move here, but like the way a computer functions, is that how it happens?
I don't even know if that's how it happens. I'm not.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
So okay,
This is out of my realm of expertise.
when I move files, it moves it to a new drive. I don't know if when I move it, the original moves. I don't know if it makes a copy and then deletes the original and moves it over. But when I make a file, the original and I move it, the original moves. Like it's not like I'm copy pasting it over. I'm literally moving the file into a different drive. So
Well, it has to get rid of the data of the original on the other drive, so I would assume that it does delete data and move the data over at the same time. Yeah, well, you would like if there was a clone of you, Brandon. That would be a different you. It wouldn't
Wait,
be the same.
here's
Like
a better one.
your brain
I
won't
take-
transfer to it. It'll be a copy
I
of your
take-
brain.
I take the SSD from my old computer and put it in a new one. Is it the same operating system and hard drive? Yes. It's new hardware.
Oh my god.
That is proof of concept that consciousness can be uploaded into machines.
No.
I mean, Brandon, that would be if you took the brain out and then put the brain in a different thing. If you upload your consciousness, you're moving the consciousness or copying and pasting the consciousness, if it's the file, to a completely different drive.
you can't remove consciousness from the body, as far as we
don't know that.
Right? So if you like put your consciousness in a robot, that would just be the robot would just have your consciousness, but you would still be in your body. You
What
know?
if I pick up my brain and put it in a
You,
computer?
you know the horror game Soma is literally
Yes, that's
about
exactly
this?
what I was thinking of.
You know,
I was
all
literally
the
like
people-
thinking, this is like the submarine game, and this was
Yeah,
like
all
Zelda.
of the people in that, right, thought that by uploading their consciousness into the computer, they could live like this version of heaven, basically, right? But they realized what they were doing was uploading a copy of their consciousness onto the computer, and they were still stuck where they were. So they were like, what the fuck do we do now? And one guy decided, okay, I'll flip a coin. Heads, I stick around. Tails, I kill myself and just let my copy live on in the simulation. You know? So that's basically what that game is about.
But we don't
That's
know
what
if
happens.
it's copies.
We don't... Okay, we're going under the assumption it can't. Like...
But I like the assumption that we can, because that's better.
Wait, the assumption that we can't upload consciousness and that you have to physically take the brain?
Can upload consciousness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I like that better than no, you can't. It's only a copy, because that means I can't live forever. That's no fucking fun.
But is it the truth? Is the question. Like if in order to make a copy of somebody's consciousness, you had to kill the person like you were making the copy of. Is that copy them now, or is it just a copy and you've cut the old one out?
I don't know. Maybe Area 51 has the answers.
They've probably already done it in there, to be fair.
Yo,
We'll know.
rolling on the 20th, you better give me those fucking answers. I'm not gonna go. You risk your own life for my personal benefit.
This is coming out after the raid, so what's our predictions for what's gonna happen on the 20th?
No, this is coming out the day of the raid.
No, it's coming out the day
wait,
after.
No, the
you're
day
right.
after.
Fuck. So I think so. There's a festival going on near it, because like the dude who made the Facebook group is now holding like a carnivals or whatever the fuck, meetup. So I think what's gonna happen is at least 2 idiots with AR-15s are gonna try to break in.
Okay, well they're obviously not gonna stop the might of the U.S. Armed Forces.
I feel like most people would have the sense to not actually bring weapons to a military installation.
Well, how the fuck are they gonna raid it without guns?
Not actually
gonna-
raid
they're
it.
just
That's
gonna
why.
run in.
That's how.
You know?
Okay, there has to be someone stupid enough to raid Area 51. It has to happen. There is no way there is not one fucking person who saw that Facebook group and was like, I'm gonna raid it.
There are gonna be stupid people who try to walk into Area 51, and just FYI, the U.S. government has complete and free license to literally shoot you on sight. So...
That's why you bring a gun. Why would you walk in unarmed?
Okay,
if they can
well,
shoot
guess
you
what?
on
The
sight?
U.S. military has more guns, and if you shoot an armed service
Hey,
member
maybe
on
someone
government
has a
property,
tank.
you're literally a terrorist.
Well, maybe someone has a tank. And they roll
Maybe
up.
someone wants to be an ultra terrorist, is what you're saying,
I
Brandon.
just want answers.
We're not getting answers. There's no way anybody will make it near.
I strongly urge
presidents-
nobody to actually go there. Just go to the Alien Fest next door.
If you were thinking of actually raiding Area 51, nothing we say is gonna stop you because you're already
Yeah.
stupid. So go right ahead.
But I'm
knock
going to
yourself out.
strongly urge you not to anyways.
What do you think? You're gonna be held legally responsible? You think the
I'm
FBI
not
is gonna
be
knock on your
legally
door?
Responsible for some idiots raiding Area 51.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it worked or not. All that matters is that I tried. I tried.
What? Like,
It's not about legal responsibility. It's about moral responsibility.
what if Alex Jones rolls up with a tinfoil hat on?
Just fucking all the bullets just magnetized to his skull instead of going to the other people.
Turns out Alex Jones is actually Magneto, and he was right all along about the
Didn't-
fluoride.
Okay, how many presidents have promised to give us information about aliens before they go into
I
office
thought it
and
was
never
John
do?
F. Kennedy was the only one. Well, did the FBI get
Okay.
you?
So, okay, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, so since these presidents were like, hey, I'll give you information on aliens if I get in office, right? Do you think they got the info and was like, oh shit, this is way too fucking deep. We can't tell people this. Or do you
Absolutely.
think nothing's ever happened?
They
I-
have to. They have to
I think
not say
there's
it.
some fucking aliens in government bases, alright? I think there's some aliens. And if
I
so,
don't-
how
I
many
don't know.
governments know about them?
I'm like I'm a lot more skeptical that we've actually met or experienced any extraterrestrial life a lot more now.
How old's the universe?
I mean, I understand it's infinitesimally old, but like on the other hand, it's also just infinitely large, you know? Like there's no way.
They'd have to be in our galaxy, which we still haven't like
Right, so-
seen corner to corner.
So the quote unquote like one of the most credible sources on like UFOs and extraterrestrial life is what's his face? Not David Icke. He's a crazy racist guy.
He thinks
yeah.
reptilians are real.
Flex like David
fuck,
Icke.
What's the guy? He used to work in like Area 51, and he's like a astrophysicist or whatever the fuck is.
I'm trying to remember. I know who you're talking. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know you know who I'm talking about. He's like he has big thick glasses.
Oh, so Albert Einstein?
No, not
No.
Albert Einstein didn't even wear glasses.
Area 51 didn't exist.
Bob
then.
Lazar. Bob Lazar. Right.
Bob Lazar. Okay.
You definitely know who Bob Lazar is, right?
I think so. Yeah, Bob
You
Laser.
told me about him before.
Yeah, I know I brought him up on the podcast before, but like essentially like the gist of it is that he like worked in this area in 51, right? Like he worked there on like a propulsion system, right? And there's like a bunch of weird coincidences with this story that seem more like a couple of guys were trying to put together a narrative about Bob Lazar and the aliens rather than Bob Lazar actually working on aliens. Dankinet has a great video on it, so he kind of like breaks it down. It's like an hour long, but like I do not believe Bob Lazar is telling the truth about his shit at all, you know, and a lot of people believe him.
Wasn't one of the big things that he knows a lot of things about fields in Area 51 that like if he did the job that he said he was as described, he shouldn't have access to or know anything about?
Well, like it was very compartmentalized, and a lot of the story's been refined. So, like when he was on a Joe Rogan podcast, he was like, "I only saw this one area and worked on this one thing, and I didn't get exposed to anything else. But one time I got lucky and saw like this giant saucer, right, and touched it, and then one of the guards was like, 'Hey, don't touch that,' which I don't know how that was the only response he got,
Okay,
and it wasn't a
so
bunch of written reprimands from the government."
Okay, first of all, flying saucer is such a goddamn stereotype that fucks up your story already. Secondly, why is some bumfuck guard guarding a fucking flying saucer?
Well, obviously, there's a bunch of
What-
military
what-
guard there, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah,
military
but, like,
installation. Of course there's
you
guards there.
think they'd be posted outside the room?
What do you
not
mean? You think he's, like,
inside.
standing right next to it being like, "Hey, don't get over here"?
But I mean, like, one of the big issues I have with that is like, fucking, like, if so many people are in on it, it wouldn't be able to be kept a secret. Like, it's physically impossible. Like, fucking in World War II, like soldiers couldn't keep their positions secret from like family members sometimes. Like, not World War II, during the Cold War and shit, like where submarines were posted and shit. Like, they tell their like family in confidentiality, but like that shit would get out. Like, there's no way it wouldn't.
I just don't think we've ran into
either.
aliens yet.
I think there are aliens. I just don't think they've come here because, like, we don't even know if faster than light travel or if wormholes happening are at all possible. Period.
Yeah, but humans aren't even that old, bro.
Yeah, but like, what's to say that us being older will be able to like push the boundaries of like not push the boundaries of physics as we know them? Like, literally,
Because why wouldn't we?
because it might not be physically possible.
Well, that sucks.
And don't get me wrong, Area 51 probably has a lot of top secret, confidential technologies that are being worked on there, right? But, like, anything that's going to be worked on there, inevitably is going to be brought to the public at some point, you know?
What if Martians are real?
You sidetrack any real conversation we ever have, Brandon. I swear to God.
Well, I just like the idea that aliens exist.
Nobody's saying they don't, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Martians.
Like, given how old the universe is, and like how old humans are, and how advanced we are for our like species age, like imagine a species that's like almost been here from the beginning.
Yeah, and
Like,
I mean, that's a good point though. Like, a species that operates on like completely different values than us and shit, like they might not have a concept of discord or like disagreements, and if they did, then like would that hurt their ability to advance as a species, or would it help because they have unity?
I feel like, okay, so there could literally be a species out there that we have no idea like really exists that does everything the opposite. It's some fucking like, you know, metal organic hybrid that breathes in CO2 and pumps out oxygen. Like shit like that could exist.
It might not even be carbon based.
Yeah, it could be like fucking. I don't
It could be anything. Really.
It could be anything. We don't.
They
this
could
is
like for all we know, they could be like gas based. Like they could literally be sentient gas beings.
like our rules of life, like our rules for life, are based off of life on our planet. Like if we go to like Jupiter or something, there could be microorganisms living there that don't have any of the conditions we have here.
And maybe like we've breezed over them because we don't recognize like other versions of life or some shit. Probably not, to be fair. But like we might have like because like things that might actually be alive just don't live by the same standards we do.
Yeah, so like, you know, they might not even breathe, but they could have like, you know, thinking.
There's
Another
I'm
win
trying
for
to
my pet
find
rock
it.
being real, Mom.
There is a book, right? It's an art book done by like this designer on like what aliens would actually look like, and I'm trying to remember the name right now because it gives like a evolutionary and scientifically accurate idea of how aliens could develop, right? And how they would
like
be different.
Martians.
Well, they look. A part of it is like, yeah, this is an art thing, but I mean, they don't look like the typical like aliens we'd see in like Mass Effect, for example.
Yeah, they're not humanoid, are they?
Well, there's like on occasion there'll be stuff that is like comparable to us, but it's more like based off of the evolution of like what their planet would associate and what they would need, you know. And then some are just completely incomprehensible looking, you know.
What if there's an alien that breathes in sulfur?
Oh, that's a weird
I mean,
thought.
that's completely possible, you know, if life happened on that planet and they just developed to breathe that, and the
What if there's just some
atmosphere is filled
alien
with that.
species just dropping shit in planets? Like, let's see if it lives.
I always imagine like what if like so many human concepts are just like unexplainable to aliens because they don't have the core fundamentals or like social aspects that we do. Like social media like might not be comprehensible to them if they don't function the same way that we do.
Well,
Which is
they'd
such a
probably
weird
get
thought.
it, like, if they're intelligent, they'd probably get it from like a logical perspective, but like from like they wouldn't understand like social cues and shit. They
Maybe not,
absolutely would
but
not.
like if like the way their social like if sociality worked or whatever. Like so, what's the word for socialness?
Socialness, just society.
Like
Their
sociality,
society was
sociality.
different.
That's the word. But like, if they didn't understand sociality, period, like the idea of like a mass program for like millions and billions and of individual people to connect, like if they didn't have any version of that to compare it to, then they wouldn't get it. Period.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, it's really hard to say because, like, it's probably outside of our imagination. Because, like, what the fuck?
My
FBI
fucking
got
audio.
him.
I swear to God, my
I'm
internet is
timestamping
killing
that,
itself.
hold up. Alright. But the whole alien thing is probably outside of our imagination because it's just like, we don't know. Like, we don't know what they developed to be social, like, not socially, but, like, evolutionary beneficial. Like, we developed over the course of time to be social creatures that work together and move in, like, packs and tribes and, you know, shit like that.
And
So,
get pet
like,
dogs and cats because they're really
that's
cute.
why, yeah, that's why tribalism still exists. And then, like, for example, like, haven't dogs and shit, like, evolved to be more appealing to humans? Like, has that happened?
No, we've genetically breeded dogs so that way they are more appealing to people.
Cuter and cuter.
Okay. That makes
Yeah.
more sense. So they've evolved, but just with human intervention.
Well, technically that's genetic modification by selective
Yeah, like-
breeding.
It's genetic engineering
hey,
in the
that's
most
what
base form.
Darwinism is too. All right.
Well, that is when it happens naturally over a period of
Yeah,
time.
that's not really engineering. That's just
Who
letting.
says there's a problem with, you know, giving a little nut?
In a lot of ways, though, like from an out, like if you were to look as an alien from a completely outside source, engineering on humanity's part might just be considered an extension of natural evolution, because humans naturally evolved to get to the spot, and then natural evolution is whatever they enact onto the world or whatever. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. Fucking aliens are weird. All right, can we talk about something else now? My brain hurts. Thanks.
When I remember this art book with aliens in it, I will send it to you guys, but I swear to God, I can't fucking remember what it's called right now.
if you do remember, please send. I'm very interested.
All right,
Yeah,
let's talk
it's
about
really
something
cool.
that's not alien related.
Okay, something not alien
Because we
related.
just went on for like 40 minutes.
Alright, all these fucking game launchers.
There's a new Rockstar one, an Epic one, a Steam one.
So
Uplay,
Rockstar just
Origin.
announced an Epic game launcher. Might as well be.
Wait, Rockstar did?
Rockstar's gonna be doing the Rockstar game launcher specifically for Rockstar games.
Love it.
Right? And if you download it like right now, you get GTA San Andreas for free.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna download it.
That's not.
I'm salty as fuck, but it's free game.
Oh boy. I mean, I know people have been having issues with the Epic Game, like Epic Game Store and all that shit, and I get it. I get where they're coming from. You know, now it's starting to get to be a lot. Like, you know, I have BattleNet, I have Steam, I have Origin, I have Epic. Did I say that already?
To be fair, I only really use Epic and Steam right now. I don't use any others.
I mean, when
Oh
I'm
my
doing
God,
like,
look,
wow.
The Rockstar one looks just like the fucking Epic Game Store. Can you motherfuckers come up with anything else? Thank you.
I was like,
Epic.
I was looking for ways to like circumvent having all these game launchers, and there are game launchers for containing all your game launchers in your games.
Oh,
I hate the whole like, oh, let's put this thing on the left and then make it really big and then have this fucking fat game thing on the screen. It's like, you know how many games I have on Steam? If you want this shit to be sustainable, you better make it fucking user friendly for someone who likes buying games. You know? Like, cause it's, I hate
Yeah,
it.
the Epic Game Store is designed more to be aesthetically pleasing than easy to navigate, and I think that's one of their main issues, in my opinion, right
You
now.
still can't gift people shit. Like,
You
what do you
can't?
like? No, you cannot. You need to buy it for them, and then like fucking send them a game key or something, or pay them money. Like, you know how much money you're missing out on directly by not fucking allowing gifting? Like, do you know how ridiculous it is? Like, what if someone's like, hey, I really want to play Borderlands 3 with my friend, but they can't buy it. Okay, let me gift the game to you. They don't have that. I wonder how many sales they've missed out on just because I don't have gifting.
honestly,
so fucking
there's
dumb.
there's so many features. Like, the biggest issue I think with Epic is that it's so lackluster feature wise when compared to a lot of like, well, just compared to Steam really. But I think if they played catch up on that decently quick, because Steam was bare bone at the start, but like if they played catch up on that decently fast, I could see it being like a worthwhile platform. Because honestly, I don't have too much of a problem with it. Like, I like the quick launch thing if like those are games you just play all the damn time. Like, opening Epic Games and then being able to open Borderlands 3 in one click is very convenient, since it's a game I've been playing for nonstop.
See, I'm on the store right now, and I'm just scrolling through, and I'm like, it's so fucking unorganized. They're like, here's these huge game tiles, and we're only gonna show you 2 games at a time on your page. Like you're not making the browsing experience friendly, and I don't see any options to like filter like to most popular or anything like that. The only section is upcoming. That's it.
Are
So
you on the store section or the home section?
the store section?
Yeah, no, I don't know why these tiles have to be so big. They should really, like...
Like,
Seeing
why
the
don't
game
you
art's
fucking
cool.
Make it smaller,
Seeing...
like,
I like seeing the game art, honestly. I kind of like that, but I feel like the search option isn't apparent enough at, like, first glance.
well,
like-
maybe okay. Let's say you don't want to search. You want to look for something to play because you're bored and you don't have any games you want to play. What if you want to look for something? What are you gonna do? Just keep fucking scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and only getting for 2 pages a time?
Let me open Steam so I can kind of compare. Give me a
Like,
second. Hey.
Steam has organizations. They have popular. They have upcoming. Like, they have new releases. Like, they have a homepage that shows a bunch of shit. It is
Yeah, it has, like, a
way
daily
more
sale and all that.
user-friendly, and it is way more effective to get people to buy shit. Like, if all your thing is like 2 fucking games every scroll, people are gonna be like, "What am I doing?"
Maybe part of that's because Epic doesn't really have a whole lot of games at the moment. Like Steam has an abundance, an overabundance by some standards of games.
Scroll down on Epic and like see how far you get. It's a pretty big list.
It's a big list of massive tiles, but it's like when you go to the bottom, like the thing is though, it has a bottom. Steam is like the library is like uncountable. Well, it's not uncountable, but like you couldn't buy all the games in there realistically.
All right, I'll give Epic 1 point for their download speed being faster than Steam's because Steam limits your bandwidth because their servers are in their low, but I can download like 20 megabytes faster on Epic than I can Steam. So I'll give them points for that.
Yeah. But I feel like with the amount of games that are on Epic, it kind of makes sense that like they can afford to have bigger titles, but as they grow their library, maybe as they include indie titles more and more, it's going to be harder to justify this massive box art tiles for anything but like what's the most popular and new or like what's on sale and all that shit.
I don't know, I just don't like it. It's just like it's a store. Like imagine if you went to Amazon and it was just these fucking giant images of what you searched.
But again, it's like there's not a surplus of products on Epic. Amazon again has like limitless things.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't like it. I feel like it's just clunky, and I like my thought is never to go to Epic Games and look for shit to play. It's always Steam. That's not just because I use Steam all the time. It's because the store is way better for it, significantly better for it. So, all right, let's talk about Borderlands 3 real quick.
Yeah, real fast.
What do you guys think?
I'm really enjoying it. I've fucking clocked way too many hours on it.
I think it's super meh.
I really fucking hate the writing.
No, the writing.
Yeah, the writing's a bit dated in some parts. I can't lie.
They made a game that's rated M that's meant for fucking 12-year-olds. Like there's a part in the story where this robot's making fucking sex noises and monkey noises for like fucking 5 minutes straight, and she won't shut the fuck up.
We're like way
maybe you
past
just need to
that
kill the
time in
monkey.
terms
Maybe you
of
just need to
comedy.
kill the monkeys faster. Sorry.
Like I was just sitting there and just like we were like, is it gonna stop?
That's bad.
Like they just keep coming. Like that one section, like certain jokes drag on for way too long. A lot of like the memes and references are a bit outdated, but like there's just one Tommy Wiseau quest that I do very much adore.
Oh, I also think that the like spoiler alert for the game, by the way, in case you were one of like the fucking I don't know.
Wait, have you beat it? Have you beat it already?
No, I'm just talking about the main villains.
Oh, okay.
It's not huge. So the main villains, they do like the social media shit, and I hate it. That's probably because I use social media.
Because you feel called out because you're a fucking influencer.
It's just such a fucking stereotype. It's like, listen. It's like the whole like it's so fucking meta. We've gone over this like fucking 6 times in new games all the fucking time. This is 2015 type shit where you're like, hey guys, welcome back to our live stream. Today we're gonna kill someone. It's like, wow, so many people have done that fucking before. I am tired of seeing it.
Well,
what other games have done it? Because like I don't play a bunch of games,
like
but it's
TV
like
shit. It's mainly
there's like games that are like, oh, here's like a dystopian like reality TV show where it's a death gauntlet or some shit.
It felt more like tongue in cheek about it. Like it didn't take the concept that seriously. So like I didn't think it was. It didn't.
Meta. I was just like,
Borderlands should have looked at the current meme landscape and based their comedy around that. But instead, it's still wacky, haha, funny shit, and it's not funny
but to be
anymore.
fair though, they probably wrote this like back in 2016 when the meme landscape was like that. Like this game has been in development for like what 5-7 years.
You shouldn't base your fucking main characters off of something that it's not.
You shouldn't base it. Don't base anything off of memes. Just
don't base it off of memes. But the concept of the villain, like being like social media based and getting a cult following through that, like that's something that still exists today. It's just not as fresh and
I feel
new
like
in
there's
media
some
anymore.
social commentary Borderlands is trying to do, but it's just lost in the whole robot monkey sex noise thing.
I thought it was so fucking meta, and I was just like, great, they're gonna fucking live stream.
It doesn't really bother me because it doesn't seem like they take it that seriously.
I have this question. What are the jokes you remember the most from older Borderlands titles?
Honestly, this is my first one.
Really?
This is my first one, yeah.
Like
I played 2 a bit, but I couldn't get into it, but I was also 13, so...
Do you remember, there was a quest where it was like, you gotta shoot Shooty McShooty face in the face? Yeah, like, that's funny, because, like, it's about games. It's a joke about games.
There's also a side quest called, like, Kill the Suck or something, and, like, that's fine. Like, but when it's I'm trying to think. Like, when it's just fucking potty humor, like farting, I'm just like, excuse me.
It's potty humor, literally.
It's like if I was an 8-year-old playing a game, I'd think this fucking shit's hilarious. But it's rated M. I'm 10 years away from being able to play this if I was 8. Like it's like they did like this super vulgar humor, but they did it in the worst fucking way where it's just like, haha, pee pee poo poo.
There's definitely a lot of that. Like they physically refuse to say fuck. Like
rated M. Just say whatever the fuck you want.
There's one fuck that I remember it's censored. Like it gets censored out.
Like, I don't know. I feel like Borderlands is like they had like this great thing where it's like super grimy and vulgar and like just fucking awful, but they, instead of making it so it's actually like that and it's actually dark humor and it's actually fucked up, they're like pee pee poo poo, I shoot your head. Like, it's just dumb shit.
I still think that takes I feel like that's discrediting a lot of the writing because a lot of it doesn't lean entirely just on making references and shit. A lot of it's just witty by its own merit, I think. Like, Tannis' character, like, I feel like she has like, when she's, like, talking into your head or some shit, like, beaming into your brain, she has some funny, like, genuinely funny lines standalone from whatever references she might be making.
I've laughed at Borderlands 3 dialogue maybe 4 to 6 times, and I have, like, fucking 12 hours or something now.
Either way, like, whatever you think of the humor, I find the gameplay really engaging. Then again, I haven't played other Borderlands games, so...
I think the gameplay is not engaging. Especially towards
well, you have the attention span of a stump, to be fair, but...
Okay, it's so fucking easy. You're just one-hitting enemies, and then... Or you're just, like, shooting. Like, it's mindless. Like, I
mean, you
like
played... How many hours did you have in Destiny, though, Brandon?
See, I like Destiny a lot more for the multiplayer than I did the fucking, like, PvE. I really like the multiplayer in Destiny, but like the PvE kind of just got boring.
Okay, so I have 46 hours in Borderlands 3. So I'm a bit farther, but like there's a few difficulty spikes which are a bit bullshit until you like figure out the boss battles.
A couple difficulty spikes, and honestly, it was refreshing because I was like, oh, the game's actually difficult now.
If you
turn on my head,
if you keep going, like there's like this climax boss. It's not the climax, but like there's just one boss fight. You'll probably recognize it when I get to it. But it is the bullshit. It is bullshit. Like it took me like 15 tries, and then I had to team up with a friend. It took another 5 tries because the difficulty spike is like ridiculous.
I mean, there's also there's other good stuff. Like, I don't hate the game. Honestly, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10.
I'm really enjoying it. I give it like an 8.
But like I play it and I'm just kind of like, like I'm not like into it. The last game I played that I was really into is Remnant: Rise from the Ashes, I think this was called. It's really fucking good, and I had to think a lot when I was playing, and I died a lot to bosses, which was really refreshing because it wasn't easy. But one of the things in Borderlands I think is funny, like there's a side mission with a boss called Wiccan Wardy, I think.
Wiccan Wardy.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and it's just a parody of Rick and Morty, and I think it's funny. Like stuff like that is funny, but I don't know. Like
there's one of the best ones though. Like
it's so unfunny.
They replaced the voice actor, didn't they?
It sounds the same to me. It sounds like Claptrap.
This is kind of a spoiler, but you saw like you can see the signs like all over Pandora in the start of the game. But you've seen the Pain and Terror signs, right?
Yeah.
So obviously that's a reference to Penn and Teddle, but Pain is actually voiced by Penn.
Oh shit.
And it's fucking great.
All right, we should wrap it up here.
Yep. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Loudmouse. Be sure to follow us all on our own personal accounts. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at loudmouse_. Be sure to check out the podcast on any other platforms that you can listen to podcasts on. YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, any of those. This has been quite Wild Spartans and Diesel, and we will see you guys next time.